The North Australian Pastoral Company, or NAPCO, is one of Australia's most enduring, long-term cattle companies. It has a herd of over 200,000 head, it covers nearly 6 million hectares of the Australian land mass, and Alexandria alone is larger than Northern Ireland.
NAPCO's original partners include some of Queensland's most innovative and pioneering entrepreneurs, including Sir Thomas McIlwraith, William Forrest, William Collins, and remarkably, descendants of some of those gentlemen are still among NAPCO's shareholders today.
What makes NAPCO significant is that it has stood the test of time. Despite a couple of world wars, significant depressions, the Federation drought, the business has continued to grow and prosper over all of that time into the organisation that it is today.
The shareholder structure for the founding five was that McIlwraith, Collins and Forrest had a quarter share each, and Ingram and Warner had an eighth share each. And when Perkins came in, the share distribution changed a little, but then it went back. It was a wonderful partnership of the five of them, the three in Australia and two in the United Kingdom. John Warner was a barrister, and Sir William Ingram was the proprietor of the Illustrated London News. Thomas McIlwraith was an engineer and a surveyor on the railways in Victoria, but meanwhile he was taking up pastoral leases in Queensland. He was a Member of Parliament in Queensland from 1870. So by the time 1877 came, when the NAPCO partnership began, he was well experienced with politics. He became Premier in 1879, so he was very well placed, especially when the partners were taking up the properties in the Beaudesert. The Collins family were very much the cattle experts in the partnership. Their base was at Mundoolan, near Beaudesert. William Forrest was very much the business person of the partnership, and he met McIlwraith on the goldfields. Patrick Perkins was an investor, just like McIlwraith, an entrepreneur, right into anything, for instance, mining, pastoralism, agriculture, and brewing. So he bought into it in 1882. Francis Foster, in many ways, was a visionary for the company. Not only did he bring that strong financial backing, when he came into the company, he was holding 18% of the shares. By the time he died, the Foster family owned 43%. His engineering background, his scientific background certainly played out, and it's interesting how it's carried on then through his son Henry in terms of the environment, the developing of the composite breed. William was a very important part of the company. He came in as a board member in 1986, but it was at a very crucial time. It was William's background in investment, in economics. It complemented Henry very well. And so the two of them have been able to take the company forward, leaving off from that very strong basis that their father actually started.
Chris Linden, who was a board member from 1986 through to 2015 and was chairman from 1990 through to 2015, and he helped to instill a more strategic focus among the board generally. And at a time of rapid change within the company, Chris set the tone very well from the top. The second person I would mention is Nigel Alexander, who has been Chief Executive Officer of the company for 20 years. He's a modern CEO for a modern business. He's very strong in finance and strategy and has made a tremendous contribution to the very solid position the company's in today.
NAPCO's had a strong history of managing environment for profitable but ecologically sound outcomes. But by ensuring that we didn't overtax our pastures, that we always had grass in reserve. In more recent times, we've been instrumental in developing some of the world's largest nature refuge agreements. And this is something that the company's been extremely proud to be part of. It's also, though, showed that cattle production and a sound environmental footprint can go hand in hand. Well, it's been at the forefront of innovation in the cattle industry, be it in terms of genetics, in terms of transport, animal welfare, pasture management, conservation. So it really is an organisation that has always been very forward-thinking, and I think a lot of that is the result of a board of directors that have always been focused on sustainability, the long-term interests of the business.
I think it's a great Queensland story because of the longevity of the company, 1877 to today, because of the stability of the company over that period, because of the long-term perspective taken through that time, the ability of the company to innovate and adapt to circumstances, the focus on environmental awareness and the planning for the best use of the available resources. It is really a matter of the role that the company's played in Queensland as a whole and in the beef cattle industry.
It is a great Queensland story. It has risk that was taken, entrepreneurship, putting capital at risk, and lots of colourful characters along the way. But through all of that, the company has remained true to its natural roots. The decisions are being made now for the benefit of people many generations down the track.